We had discussion in an executive session, and from that, we have a consensus and we have a motion.
Okay, motion to grant a 1-year unpaid leave of absence subject to contractual rights for sick days.
Motion by?
Second.
Lana, second. Picard, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, for order. Next item. School facilities.
So in terms of our school facilities update, we have our 2 swing school locations, Stephen Only School and McGuire School. Both have full crews in their buildings working to get the schools ready for the first day of school. And we did postpone the open house evenings just basically out of an abundance of caution and to give the teachers a few additional days to go into their classrooms and really kind of put the finishing touches on their classrooms. There are a few minor construction projects that need to be completed, particularly at McGuire, but both schools there's a lot of work going on right up until next week. We have crews actually working throughout the weekend, planning to be working throughout the weekend. So I'm confident that our crews will have our schools ready for opening day. The other buildings also, there's a tremendous amount of work being done. You can see here at the high school, it's sparkling and shining and ready to welcome students. We've done a tremendous amount of work with everything from painting to maintenance repairs, and anytime you're dealing with facilities and the sheer number of people who are in the facilities each day, we have a lot of maintenance items that come up every day. So it's an ongoing effort, and we're making a lot of progress, and I'm really thankful, grateful to our crews that are in our schools getting things ready. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you. And the next on the PTO is.
Can I go ahead and introduce them?
Yes, sure, certainly.
So we have a few representatives from elementary PTO, PTA boards here with us this evening. In your packets, you'll find some information about the fall festival that's coming up. These ladies have worked extremely hard to put together a really awesome festival for students and their families. It will be held at Greystone. They have a lot of great activities planned. I was so impressed with how organized they are. So I would first of all encourage everyone to attend, bring your families, but also wanted to I asked them to be here tonight in case you had any questions for them, and offer them an opportunity to just kind of give you a brief overview of what their plans are.
Yeah, anybody want to say anything?
Right, do you want to share it with them? Sure. Please come on up.
Yeah, you're welcome to. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
While she's walking up, I want to say I've already shared the event.
Which one which PTO you represent?
When's the date and where's the location?
September 23rd, it's a Saturday, 12 to 6. They took over that too. So we're very
So I know on Facebook, there's already about 300 people signed up to go, more interested in going. I've shared it a few times. We'll continue to share that on Facebook. I just want to thank you for coming together and putting this together. It's great to see. I would love to see the high school get involved. I'll definitely text Mr. Goho in a few minutes to see how we can do that. I know I believe it's, who's the head of the CAPS at the high school now? Is it Miss Salito still? Jennifer Salito? No? I'll ask Mr. Goho. Mr. Cicerone, do you know who's doing it now? All right, I'll find out. Because I think it would be great for everyone in the town to be part of the event. I think it's wonderful. We want parents more involved, and this is a great way to bring everybody together in the community. Mr. Cicerone? 6.
Exactly where Greystone School? Football field, the parking lot?
football field,
All of it.
parking lot, inside. We're taking over the whole place.
Yeah, good.
We have vendor trucks. We're up to 8 vendor food trucks. We have about 18 to 20 vendors so far. We have lots and lots of raffles. The town has been extremely generous with donating to us for the raffle. We have Touch a Truck. We have Batman coming. Speedy Racer, Speed Racer. Something. He's a little red car. He's coming. We have dump trucks for the kids to climb on. We have bungee lunges, obstacle courses, a joust game, a wipeout. Some of the stuff.
Seems like you covered all bases.
We ran with it.
Yeah.
You give us something to do, we're
Yeah.
gonna run.
Yeah. Well, I give you a lot of credit. You're doing a great job. And what other needs do you people have now? You said something about copying and stuff?
We have color copies. We're sending home flyers to all the families in school.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be black and white.
Mm-hmm.
But to put the flyer in the stores, like in Stop and Shop and Paulie Penn, the color flyers would look so much nicer. We just can't afford to have them printed.
If we have one flyer colored, we can send it via Skyward to everybody. Every parent can have the flyer via the Skyward app. Yep. We can put that out on our Skyward and just push it.
Yeah, you already have it, but this looks like it's updated, so if you email. You approved it, but yes, but if you email it to me. Sure. Okay.
We can push it out to every family.
Okay. So we're going to... Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So usually on Saturdays, the Jets use Greystone School. Have they moved aside for you? The Jets football program has, they vacated it for that day. Okay, thank you, because we normally give them a blanket
That's a good question.
property use for the year.
Jets organization as well, so I spoke to Josh Johnson, and he was on board. He said he would even sign something saying that we were all set, but they just have to sign for us.
Okay, because Saturday's usually their big day of practice.
Okay, thank you very much.
We give them a blanket for the entire year. Okay, so they stepped aside. Beautiful. Wonderful.
Any other
Thank you.
questions? Thank you very much for coming, and it sounds like you're doing a good job.
I would like Mr. McNamee in the dunk tank, and Mr. Jones. You both to sign up. If Mr. Cicerone signs up, I will donate.
All right, next item.
Be it resolved that, at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the financial report as submitted.
By Mr. Angelosi, seconded by Mr. Iannetta. Discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Be it resolved that, at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the homeschool requests as submitted.
So moved by Mr. Iannetta, seconded by Mr. Palmieri. Discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Okay, we don't have any field trip requests, so the next item, be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the art teacher leave of absence request as submitted.
Yeah, that's the, we're all set. Okay.
That was
so,
already approved, sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay. Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the bids as submitted.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Picard, seconded by Mr. Iannetta. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the resignations as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Iannetta, seconded by Mrs. Picard. Discussion, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Okay, we don't have any retirements. Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the leave of absences as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Iannetta, seconded by Mr. Ambrosio. Discussion, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Okay, we don't have any layoffs. Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the appointments as submitted.
Okay, motion by Mr. Ambrosio.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Picard. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, so voted.
Okay, so it gives me great pleasure to introduce Dr. Andrea Plew, who will be the new principal at Wayland Elementary School. So Dr. Plew is here tonight with us. Congratulations and welcome aboard.
You need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Iannetta, seconded by Ms. Picard. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Congratulations, we wish you the very best, and we're sure you'll do a great job for us. Thank you.
Okay, welcome aboard. Okay, next item, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, we do not have any layoff rescissions or displacement rescissions or removal of textbooks, so.
Next item is use of property. We have people who would like to speak on this. West, yeah. Okay, there's a Chris Iannucci here, okay, and also Kathy Lanny. We're taking the item, the order that you signed up. Chris Iannucci?
Okay, sure. I'm just requesting the use of the high school basketball gym starting in the fall for the course of about 2 months, a little bit over 2 months, for a women's basketball league. That's it.
Okay, any questions, anyone?
Is it on our agenda for tonight?
No. No.
It's in your packet.
The new one?
Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions?
1 second, Anthony.
What? Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Okay,
So, Rhode Island Women's Basketball League.
thank you.
It's a small
Thank you.
organization. I wouldn't even call it an organization, so it's just me.
Okay. There's another person who wants to speak. Let's see.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, I'm
can I ask
sorry.
another question?
Yes.
It says, now, do you charge your players?
We do, just for the referee expenses and essentially if there was any kind of overhead.
And it's Wednesdays or Thursdays?
Right, I just wanted to leave some flexibility in there. I didn't know what activities were going on in school.
Oh, it's not, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. There's someone else who wants to speak. Use of property. Thank you very much, Mr. Yes, Ms. Leslie? Lanny? Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity. I'm actually here just to speak in response to Mr. Iannucci's request. This is probably not the biggest thing on your agenda or on your mind right now, I recognize, but for the past 30 years, I have been part of a women's basketball league that's been run in the town. We play on Monday nights. Again, we have for 30 years in a row right now. And I guess I just have some concerns about another league coming in and taking from that pool of players. It puts our league in jeopardy. I think Mr. Iannucci is well aware of the fact that we've run this league for a long time. He runs other leagues, from what I understand, in Johnston and possibly Providence. This league is run by residents. Preference is given to residents to play in it. And again, it's got a very long-standing history. We charge a reasonable price. We provide a budget so that everybody understands where that money goes, how it's used. We've never experienced any issues, never any complaints, never been questioned about our finances and how we spend that money. And from what I understand, some of the leagues Mr. Iannucci has run have been twice the cost for half the games, and I just haven't heard a lot of good things, and I would hate to put North Providence in that position. I would hate to see our league crumble, because the pool of women is a lot smaller than it is of men, and so I think this puts people in the position to have to choose. And I guess I would just question his intentions. I think there's a few leagues that run out there currently at different times of the year. Ours runs typically from October through March or April. It sounds like he'd like to start one sooner than that. So again, that would more than likely have an impact on our league. And I know this, again, may not be the most important thing, but there's a long-standing history here. Both Joanne D'Alessandro and I created this thing 30 years ago, and we'd hate to see it ruined when there's opportunities for Mr. Iannucci to continue to run his league elsewhere. There's an unspoken rule amongst the people who run leagues in the state. Everybody tries to not step on each other's toes, check in with each other. I've never heard from Mr. Iannucci. He's never mentioned to me that he'd like to, start another league and ever express any concerns about how that might impact our league. And I think it's important to consider the fact that we also employ North Providence residents as some of the officials. From what I understand, Mr. Iannucci officiates a lot of the games in the leagues that he has, so that also makes me question some of his intents here. So, again, it's just something that I'm really concerned about. I'd hate to see our league be in jeopardy if you guys were to approve this app and bring the competition directly here to our town and to our gym. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
You can back up.
Thank you very much.
You can come back up.
Who's wants to come back up? I'm sorry. You want to come back up? But
So this is actually the first time I've ever even met Kathy. I didn't even know she was here until she came up. In regards to some of the things she says, I've been a North Providence resident for 18 years. I've worked with youth basketball. Some of the members that are on this panel know me from that. I live right around the corner, so it's not like I'm trying to bring anything in from out of town. I purposely chose a day that did not conflict with the potential of another North Providence league that she's referring. I referee Division I college basketball, women's basketball. I've been doing this for roughly about 13 years. Been refereeing little kids basketball for 26 years. There's not a lot of opportunity for women's basketball after women graduate college if they don't go pro. And that's why I started my league probably about 8 years ago in 2009. The constant battle that I have to keep this league afloat is that when another league arises and their costs and their overhead are very minimal, I'm forced to charge what I charge because I'm not getting a gym cost at a very low cost. I'm getting whatever the rate is at that particular location. So it's very difficult to stay, she said, competitive. I'm not looking to run on the same night as her. It's just a supplemental night. I think it's a win-win for the women of the local area. They get to play on 2 nights a week as opposed to just one. So it's not, has nothing to do with Kathy. Didn't know I had to reach out to Kathy. I never met her before until tonight. I'm sure she can attest to that. And it was nothing of any kind of personal interest. I live around the corner. It's a lot more convenient for me to run a league that is essentially something I can walk to, as opposed to having to find gym time elsewhere and have to pay the rates that they're kind of charging at this juncture. So I was looking for the same opportunity that Kathy's league was given.
Any questions, anyone? Mr. Iannetta? Oh. Any questions? No? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes. Mr. Iannetta?
I'd like to make a motion to deny the request for an additional women's basketball league using our facilities. I believe the current one we have has been in operation for many years. It's been well-run. Most of the people within the operation are former graduates of North Providence High School. I know that Kathy Lanny is going to be inducted into the Rhode Island Interscholastic League in a couple of months. I'm sure that says a lot. And I know the girls who participate in it have enjoyed it for many years, so I move that we just deny this additional request for another league.
Motion by Mr. Iannetta, seconded by Mr. Ambrosi, and who else? And Mr. Palmieri. Discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, so continue on with, let's continue on with the use of property now.
Did everyone receive the updated use of property requests in their packets? Okay. So let's go back to, be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the submitted use of property requests.
Okay, you're recommending that. Motion by Mr. Iannetta, seconded by Mr. Andriosi. Discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, so voted. Next.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the list of bills as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Andriosi, seconded by Mrs. Picard. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, so voted. Minutes.
Resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the minutes for the previous meetings as submitted.
Mrs. Picard?
So we need to approve and seal the executive session minutes for the dates of July 10th, July 26th, and August 10th pursuant and applicable to provisions of Rhode Island General Law 42-46-4 and 5.
Motion by Mrs. Picard, seconded by Mr. Iannetta and Mr. De Silva. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, so
And a
voted.
motion to approve the general session minutes for the same dates of July 10th, July 26th.
Motion by
and
Mr.
August 10th.
Picard, seconded by Mr. De Silva. Hey, all right. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, so voted.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Since there's, that's it. No pending business. That's it. Motion, the meeting's adjourned at 8 o'clock.